Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Jason White and this is Jason's Weird Reads. Thank you for joining me, and today I have what is for me a pretty big book haul. I haven't been doing these very much this year because one, I always forget to do ebook and audiobook hauls on this. I don't know why, but it's just something that's never on my mind. And second, I'm not exactly on a book buying ban, but I wanted to cut back because I just don't have any shelf room anymore for any of my books. On September 19th was my birthday, and I kind of broke down and decided to get a fair amount of books. And I'm one of those people it's hard to buy for. To get me books, or that's about it. Maybe some clothing with Michael Myers on it or something. But there's nothing else I'm really into. Movies and all that, DVDs. I used to be big on DVDs, and I have a pretty big DVD collection, but digital has really taken that over. Ebooks are kind of the same, honestly, but neither here nor there, right? Okay, so not all of these books are birthday books. Some of them are just sort of happenstance books too, because I kind of lost just a little bit of control. But I got some books in the mail, and I'm going to hit those ones first because one of them, I'm really curious as to what they are. So we're going to go with this. I know what this one is. I had this guy on my channel, and we talked about this book, and it was a lot of fun. And we're just going to get into this here. So he put on a post on Twitter saying, I got a box full of these books. If you want a copy, please hit me up and we'll send one. And so I definitely decided to jump on that because I've been wanting to get maybe some signed books by the authors I've talked to on my channel. So of course I'm talking about The Nothing That Is by Kyle Winkler. It's a really, really good book, and I'm so glad I got it. And I know he signed it for me. Just need to put on my reading glasses here to read what he says. He's got very small writing. He says, "There is no escape from two things, dread and work." And he also, there's a little picture inside of the dinosaur's head, and he painted them all red, and he put a little Canadian flag in there. It's really awesome. Thanks, Kyle. I really appreciate that. And this is going in my collection to stay until either I'm dead or I'm dead, I guess. I don't know about any other booktubers, but I'm terrible at people, even though I'm closed to review submissions, people will still contact me, and I'll still be like, alright, send it, and I'll see if I can do anything. And I have no idea what this is. In fact, it might not even be books. As Daniel Green says, it might be a bomb. I don't see why anyone would want to bomb me, though. Who knows? So we're gonna get into this. And this feels like, just feeling the package, it feels like more than one book and a cardboard or something. And it says it's 2 books and one other thing. So, well, it doesn't say books. It just says 2 items plus 1. I don't know what that means. I probably said yes to something and forgot about it, because that's what I do. I feel bad about that too. Okay, the cardboard's to keep the books safe, so that's good. Almost feels like Christmas when you open these. Or another round of birthday presents. Oh yes, okay. I do remember these now. I didn't think he actually sent these, because I said that I would take his book, and it was this book here, Hellfighters by Bill Richardson. He contacted me on Twitter, and I was like, yeah, sure. You know what? He messaged me, and I'm like, okay, you know what? This is a cosmic horror tale, and so I'm always interested in cosmic horror. Almost immediately, cosmic horror will reach the top of my list, and so I was like, you know what? Instead of sending me a PDF or a Mobi file, I'll just go and get it. And I went and bought it on Amazon. And then afterwards I was like, okay, I told him that. I was like, I'll just buy it. Don't bother sending me the file. And so I told him that I bought it, and I did. And then I was like, you know what, if I like it, I'm going to be bugging you for a signed copy. And he's like, well, you know what, I'll just send you a signed copy anyway. And I was like, okay. I didn't think he was actually going to send it, though, for some reason. and so I kind of forgot about it. And inside he did write, he autographed it for me, and he says, Jason, the best of luck in your writing journey. That is not dead which can eternal lie. By H.P. Lovecraft. That's a quote there. And so yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this. I love my cosmic horror. And he also put this in here as an extra. He didn't even mention this, I don't think, in our DMs. More Than Evil. How do you stop the unstoppable? I don't know if this is a novel or a collection of short stories. Let me read you the synopsis for each very quickly here. So, Hellfighters. A terrifying evil wants to enter our world, and Dr. Max Heller and a group of Hellfighters are the only ones who can stop it. Heller is a man of science, but when he stumbles upon something that defies all logic, he must put aside his old ways of thinking and plunge into the unknown. In the tradition of H.P. Lovecraft comes a tale of cosmic horror that will have you on the edge of your seat. There are things in the universe beyond our understanding, malevolent entities and immense power. Can Heller and a ragtag group of townspeople prevail against such beings? Find out in this gripping tale, filled with horrors more frightening than any nightmare. So that sounds really awesome. And this one is More Than Evil. A supernatural entity that has been imprisoned in the earth for millennia is released in a small town. It quickly spreads, leaving a trail of blood and carnage in its wake. Harlan is the local sheriff, and he is in a race against time to save his family, his town, and the rest of the world from this terrifying evil. So I guess it's a novel. So that's awesome. And he signed this one too. I don't know if I read what it said, but it says, Jason, I hope this keeps you up at night. So I'm very much looking forward to these books. Thank you, Bill, for sending these my way, and I hope that I can get to at least one of them very shortly. Another guy I had on my channel, but this is his new book, so it's not signed, but I pre-ordered it. I'm getting it a few weeks early here, I guess because of the pre-order. It's from Journal Stone Publishing, which is a publisher I really enjoy. I'm hoping one day to get a signed book by Mike Thorne, because this is, he's quickly becoming a favorite of mine, and this is his new book, Peel Back and See, which I'm already 60% of the way through, because I got an advanced ARC from Mike Thorne and Journal Stone. Moving on, we're going to stick with Mike Thorne here, because, as I said, I want to at least collect some of the books that of the authors I talked to their physical copies of their books, just as a sort of memento in interviewing them. And so I went and got Darkest Hours Expanded Edition by Mike Thorne, which I read during the summer. And actually, I think I read this just before the summer in preparation to talk with Mike. And these stories were really great. And I really enjoyed my time in reading these stories and talking with Mike afterwards. I'll leave a link to that interview somewhere around here. I went to the used bookstore, and I got 3 books while there. I could have bought a lot more, but I was trying to hold back a little bit. And I got like a bit of a theme going here. But before I get in, well, we'll talk about the theme somewhat. I've been into vampires lately, and I haven't really read too much vampires, but I've been consuming a lot of vampire television. And so I saw this, and I've heard about it before. It's The Vampire of New York. Now, I believe this is about Dracula, or here, just let me read the synopsis. The past belongs to the night. 1863, during a shipwreck in the frigid waters off the coast of North America, one man dies, and a demon is rechristened. Enoch Bale, once known as Count Dracula, reaches American shores. On the eve of New York draft riots, Echo Van Helsing comes to the city to avenge the mysterious murder of her father by a hideous creature out of ancient myth. Instead, she is met by conspiracy, unholy terror, and a terrible truth. The night belongs to the dead, the present. Archaeologist Carrie Norton makes a startling find in a historic Manhattan site, the mummified corpse of a Civil War-era homicide victim. Cold case detective Max Slattery sees something more, gruesome uncanny parallels to a recent series of brutal slayings. Their investigation is about to take them places neither expected, because, well, the man responsible may be long dead. He is no longer gone. So we all know where that's going. I think it's like a Dracula story. Dracula in New York. And that's where I was going with my own little synopsis, but I wasn't sure if I was correct or not. Anyways, I found this little bookmark on the inside. It's pretty much actually the reason why I bought the book. I saw this bookmark kind of fall out while I was checking it out, and I'm like, oh, I love vampires. And there's an awesome bookmark in there. I'm always losing my bookmarks, so I thought, why not? And I also got, at the used bookstore, Anno Dracula, I think is one of the... This is like from Australia, I think, this edition of it. If you don't know what Anno Dracula is about, let me read the synopsis quickly for you. It is 1888, and the widow of Windsor has remarried, taking as her new consort the Wallachian prince, and famously known as Count Dracula. London is awash with parvenu vampires who are sucking the capital into a frenzy of terror. But deep in Whitechapel, a murderer who signs himself Jack the Ripper is viciously cutting down vampire girls and threatening the very stability of the new regime. Anno Dracula. So, I've been wanting to read this book for a very long time, and I'm so glad that I finally found a copy, and a kind of an interesting copy too, as this one was printed in Australia, Simon & Schuster of Australia. So that's interesting. And this next book is actually a rebuy. I have this book already, and it's in storage right now, but it's also really beat up, and that's the reason why I rebought it. That is Ramsey Campbell's Midnight Sun. This is one of my favorite books by Ramsey Campbell, and it's funny because I talked to him. I was able to interview Ramsey Campbell on the Darkness Wells podcast, and I mentioned that this is a favorite of mine, and he said that he actually doesn't like this one. I found that kind of funny and sad. Alright, so I also got a collection, an anthology of short stories, weird short stories, written by women. And all of these stories appeared in the magazine that was that pretty much made horror what it is today, and it really brought a lot of attention to weird fiction, because it published the likes of H.P. Lovecraft and many others. And of course I'm talking about the Women of Weird Tales. This is, like I said, it's a collection of stories. They were published between 1925 and 1949. And so I have yet to read any of these, but there's some that I'm really looking forward to. They have the writers in here. There's only like 5 women writers, but they have multiple stories each. Like Everil Worrell, she has like 5 short stories in here, including The Canal, which is, I think, one of her most famous stories. And they also have Ellie Coulter, Mary Elizabeth Councilman, and Gray Lespina. Gray Lespina? So I'm very much looking forward to this. I think Weird Tales magazine was dominated mostly by men, but it's good to see some attention coming to the women who also published in that magazine. That's it for the adult section of this, because I've been into middle grade horror a lot lately, mostly Goosebumps, but I want to branch out a little bit and read some other things. Now, I was watching Kasha from Kasha's Book Cemetery, and there's, I think it was just her, but I know that Cameron Chaney has talked about these books a lot too. there's 4 books in these, and when I bought these books, I didn't know there was only 4. I thought maybe it continued on, so I bought the first 3 thinking that that was a good head start. Otherwise, I would have probably just picked up the 4th too, but I'm of course talking about Monster Street. And I got the first 3. I want to read at least the first 2, hopefully before Halloween, but I don't know how well that's going to go. Now these are a series of books. I don't know if they're connected or not. I'm going to read you the synopsis for the first one here, and that's The Boy Who Cried Werewolf. Max Bloodknight can't decide what's more terrifying about his weekend in Wolf Country. The fact that he has to stay with his grandparents he's never met before, or being stuck on a farm without cell service. If only that was all he had to fear. Determined to solve the mystery of his father's death that occurred years before at the claws of a legendary werewolf, Max must hunt to uncover the truth before the full moon rises and the werewolf strikes again. I love werewolf tales, so I think a middle grade werewolf tale will be awesome. And the second one is a Halloween one, and that's why I wanted to read it before Halloween. I absolutely love the art of these books. They're so colorful. And this is the third one. And these are, of course, the Monster Street books by J.H. Reynolds. So if you're into middle grade books, definitely check that out. I also got some R.L. Stine Goosebumps books, and this is what will wrap up this book haul. At the used bookstore that I was just talking about, I got 2 used versions. I got the Haunted Mask, and I was happy to get this because it's the original cover. I kind of like the new covers too, honestly, but these old covers, there's something special about them as well. And I just finished reading this one, and I think, honestly, so far, I think this will be my favorite Goosebumps book. It's a lot of fun. It's a very good cautionary tale about being a bully versus being the victim of being bullied, and revenge, and how far you should take revenge, I guess. Because the mask that you put on to take out your revenge could end up consuming you and taking you over, and you don't want that. It's a very timely message, I think, and it was just a fun story altogether. I loved it. This one, I think, is R.L. Stine's longest book ever written. It clocks in at like 214 pages. If you've read any R.L. Stine, you know that is that's huge for him. It's like Stephen King's It for him. And this is, of course, Goosebumps Horrorland Special Edition Weirdo Halloween. So, I don't know if I'll get this one read this year, but I'll definitely read it next year, hopefully. And finally, I was at my bookstore, and I saw this tin of Goosebumps books, and they're all the original covers. And I don't have any plans necessarily of collecting all the Goosebumps books in their original covers, but I would like to collect all the Goosebumps books because there's something tremendously fun reading them, and I really regret not having read them when they were coming out, because I think I wasn't in the right mindset to read them back then. I was too pretentious. I was reading Stephen King and Robert McCammon, and I didn't need children's books then. I was too sophisticated. But one thing I didn't think about was the fun that these books bring. And so I got this this tin here, which is really freaking cool, if you ask me. And it comes with 5, I think, books. And having these books all brand new is really weird because I have a bunch of used Goosebumps books, and they're all well read and well loved, you can tell. So in here we have The Werewolf of Fever Swamp, which I've read and I really enjoyed. Stay Out of the Basement, which I've also read and really enjoyed. And there's 3 more here. piano lessons can be murder. That looks like, kind of reminds me of like an Agatha Christie type story. The Haunted School. And the Cuckoo Clock of Doom. So out of these, I've read 2 of them, and I still have 3 more to go. And really happy to have these. And I can't wait to read more Goosebumps. There's just something about them that's fun, and I like having fun when I read these days. I don't mind the stories dripping with dread and terrible things, but I also need to just have fun as well. All right, so that's my my big birthday book haul. I want to thank you guys for watching this long, and if you have watched till the end here, please leave me a book or a pile of book emoticon down there deep in the darkness, and I will leave you some books in return. Thank you so much. Keep being safe, keep being creative, and I'll catch you guys in the next bookish video.